Hi, I'm Kesiena. I'm an artist, fashion designer, and an educator at Pratt Institute. In my artistic work, I love using collage. Working with collage is a great way to use everyday materials. How can we use everyday materials to make fashion sketches at home? Well, we're going to go over that today.
We will see how we can make really great fashion sketches focusing on mostly white papers collected from around our homes. Here's an example of some of the things we'll be learning today. Building all this great texture with the white papers, and you'll get really fun definitions too if you want to get really creative. Some of the things you'll need to get started are paper, of course. And for this project, I just used recycled papers. So just recycled papers that I found around my home, things from like paper scraps from other projects, even a paper bag would be really great for this. You can get super creative. Tissue paper is another really great one because it's quite sheer and it might be great to use because you can draw over or layer really well with it. Other items you'll need to get started are scissors, tape, or a glue stick. Double stick tape works best, but if you have regular tape, just use whatever you can. A pencil and a pen. If you have fashion magazines, that will be very helpful, but you don't need them. They're not mandatory. You want a figure that's standing really straight and tall, not with too much covering, so you can see the body still. That will help you sketch a fashion figure underneath. So like that, it's a really good image. Something like this. Even something cropped like this is really great because you can still see a good shape underneath. If you don't have fashion magazines, don't worry, you can still use a croquis. If you're going to be using a fashion croquis, just look up some of those templates online and trace one. If you don't have a fashion magazine, you can also just look up retailers online, like, fashion stores or stores you want to buy clothes from, and just go to the images of the modeling fabrics that you like that have textures. So these are some pleated ones. So we can make some like pleats from paper or some really fun polka dots. What we're going to do is we're going to just get the outline of the figure. You can either draw the figure freely if you feel comfortable. If not, it's okay. You can just trace the outline of the figure. And so if you have a paper that's sheer enough, you can just place it on top and draw. If it's not sheer enough, what you can do is you can hold it up to the light, or even like your computer screen if you're drawing from something that's an image online, and then you can just trace the silhouette that way. Or if it's a nice sunny day, then you can place it on the window and trace the figure underneath that way. And so, as you can see, I just have a nice outline. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can be a little sketchy of the figure. And I'm going to focus on the ruffles here. I really like the ruffles that I saw in the image. And so that with my paper, that's what I'm going to play with. But first, we're going to go over a lot of different techniques of what we can do with the paper. I have some images of techniques and textures I like, and some patterns. So I really like the polka dots of these ones that I found. Here I've just traced a dress. And so I'm going to draw just polka dots. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I'm going to cut out my polka dots. You can also use, if you have at home, like a hole punch. That could be a really great way to make polka dots. I also really loved these pleats that you see. And so those are easy to make. I'm just going to cut up some paper here. And it's so easy. You just fold the paper. Then you get these accordion-like pleats. So if you want big to small, you can draw different angles. So you want it to be wider on the bottom and more narrow on the top. Then you fold as best as you can to the lines that you drew. And you can either get a really cool pattern, even if you use like the black lines, or you can just like flip it over. And you can see that because it's more wide on the bottom, you get this really cool angular shape now. Other techniques that I want to play with is just tearing some paper. And I think this is going to be the technique that we use with our ruffles. And so, with our strips of paper, if you just take the edge of your scissor and just kind of score it across the top, you can get some really nice curlicues, which can also create really good, fun volume if you want to take it and like glue it down. Then I want to show you how to create some fringe. And so this is just a scrap piece of paper. And so what you can do is you can just draw a line, maybe halfway across the paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut up to that line. And you can make them as wide, the cuts as wide or as thin as you need them or want them to be. Then on another scrap of paper, what we'll do is I'll glue some of it down. I'll glue the half that I did not cut down. You can also use double stick tape. And by just gluing just that top half, the bottom half is now still loose. And so you can get some really great, fun texture that way. And so the technique that I'm going to use to do the ruffles, I think, is just the tearing technique. So I'm going to tear strips into scraps of paper. And what I think I'm going to do is, there's only 2 ruffles on my sketch, but let's have fun and exaggerate. That's what fashion's all about, it's the exaggeration. So what I'm going to do with my tear is I'm going to start creating like waves of a ruffle. And so what I need to do is I need to secure part of that down. I'm just going to tape on the edge here and secure it down. And then I'm just going to play with how high I want my little ridge to go. You'll secure it down here by putting some tape here to hold it down. You tape it down. And if you're using a glue stick, you just might want to hold it a little bit. And then you're going to repeat this, and you're just going to keep layering one piece over the other, making sure to secure the pieces down with tape or glue. And you get a really cool effect. And here's our result. After we layered and layered and layered all the different shredded pieces, you can see I love the torn edge still. I just taped it down to secure it. And then I went in with pen and I just outlined what I had with my pencil sketch. I just used a pen. And I love scribbling, so I just scribbled in a little. So this one I just had a good figure that I liked. I sketched the figure down. And I really liked her dress, but I didn't like how plain it was. I wanted to add some fun and some pattern. So what I did was I outlined her dress, scribbled in with a pen, and then on top of the pen marks, I just cut out a bunch of polka dots. And I layered it on, and I glued it down. And so you can see you get some really fun texture just by scribbling underneath and then layering that paper on top. And this is a really fun sample. I basically combined all the techniques we went over. So here I have some really fun accordion pleats, and I really love the details of where it's torn. And I layered, so here's some tears. And then here I wanted some fringe. So you get a lot of great dimension just playing with that. I hope you guys have fun creating at home, and share with us what you make by using the hashtag #PrattYouthAtHome.